Welcome to another episode of Swish Nomads. You're here with me, OG, P-Funk, and Djigo. This is episode 21. Today, I have my numbers correct. I did my homework. Also, I recognized something the other day. We were having a WhatsApp call, and this is how my brain works. This whole time, I've been calling Djigo Deji, okay? Because that's how my brain read his name. Even though I've known Jigo for how many years now? And then in that WhatsApp call, Marcel said Jigo. And my brain went, oh, his name is Jigo.
That's
So I want to apologize right now to all Jigo's 10,000 fans. I've been calling your boy the wrong name. It will never
14,000.
happen again.
Um,
14,000 fans. I apologize. It won't
yeah,
happen again, and I'm going to put some respect on his name. I'm also really happy because he's blessed us with his presence today. So
I
it's
know.
lovely to see
Oh
you.
yeah, hey yeah. Let me tell you something.
Mm.
Something crazy happened last time in Dakar. That's why I didn't attempt to the recording. I listened to the whole episode. You guys were talking trash, but hey, a building fell down. That's why there was a lot of traffic.
Wait, the building, the
Literally.
bridge.
The bridge one, though, I
Yo,
was
but
there for the
honestly,
bridge, so I saw
I
that
know.
happened.
I know.
The bridge one
I know.
happened in front of Kettle,
Thank
so
you.
So, and
you ain't gonna
now,
talk
now,
about it.
now, hold on. So now a building fell.
A
Mm.
building fell, so it
Oh,
Okay.
caused a lot of traffic on the road. And I wasn't in town. I was like in Almaty
Okay.
having a meeting. And then on my
Okay.
way
it's
back
on a
home,
date.
it took me like 3 hours on the road.
Wow.
Come on, man.
And then, oh, okay. But, like I said today, Senegal, Portugal, Louis van Gaal, Angola in five.
Oh my gosh. All right, we're going to get into it. Let's start with hot topics. Two things I want to draw your attention to for those who don't know. Last week, the World Cup qualifiers draw
Yep.
happened. See, this is where it's confusing. So every region had a draw to decide which teams will play in the World Cup qualifiers, and then the qualifying teams after that, then there'll be another draw. So
Mm.
the biggest question I had is how did they decide which teams are going to be in the draw? Because to me, it seems like all of the teams in Europe are in the draw. Like every European team is in there. But in Africa,
Mm.
there's only 16 teams. So I'm assuming it's the 16 teams that will be taking part in AfroBasket, which now means that AfroBasket qualification is also
Mm.
qualification for the World Cup draw. Sorry,
Really?
for the World Cup qualifiers. Did any of you know that?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I
I
mean,
did
that's
did
not.
above
not.
my
I
pay
did not.
grade. That's above my pay grade. So, I mean, not everyone works for FIBA. Know what I mean?
But hey, technically you worked with FIBA because you were a certified FIBA agent.
I know. I mean,
Ooh.
yeah. Working.
So
I'm an innocent bystander. I pay FIBA. I pay Kara's salary.
He
So
does. And I enjoy
technically,
it. I enjoy it.
technically, I'm her boss.
Tell me what you need, boss. I'll get it done. All
all
right.
right, all
So
right.
for those who missed the African qualifiers, the groups were drawn as this: Group A, Cameroon, South Sudan, Libya, Cape Verde, Cabo
Group
Verde,
of death.
as I
Yeah.
should say. Group
Group of
B,
death. Yeah.
Senegal, Senegal, DR Congo, Madagascar, and Cote d'Ivoire. Group
Mm.
C, Nigeria, Rwanda, Guinea, and Tunisia. Group D, Mali, Angola, Uganda, and Egypt. So, guys, tell me which group is the group of death?
Okay.
A for
A.
sure.
For sure it's A,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's a clear choice because think about it. You have Cameroon
Mhm.
in the last like window World Cup Olympic
It was
window
Olympic
qualifiers. They beat
qualifiers, yeah.
it was Olympic qualifiers. They went to the finals and they beat Senegal. So you had Cameroon, you had South Sudan,
Hmm.
probably lose to the United States by 1 point,
Crazy,
and then went ninth in the Olympic. You have
crazy.
Libya up and coming.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
also have Cape Verde. So there's
100%.
nothing that you
Okay,
cannot predict who's gonna go first in that group.
I would counter that argument and say Group B only because Group B is strong. Senegal, DR Congo, and Cote d'Ivoire. Madagascar is the outlier in that group. Fine. But those three teams are not a joke.
But can I just tell you something? You got to understand
Mhm.
it's gonna be like FIBA windows, right? A lot of NBA
Yes.
guys won't
Mm,
go, right? Because if you guys are thinking like, oh,
Mm.
Jonathan Kuminga is gonna go, like yeah, like Cameroon, all like Missy and Siakam and what's the
mm,
guy's name? Koloko and
Mm.
Chimchi.
Chomchi.
Chomchi,
mm.
yeah, it's they're gonna play in the NBA. They're playing in the NBA, right? So
Mm.
I don't know. I think group
But
of
the
death is
windows,
yeah.
I was just gonna say that they do try to structure the windows around um low. My
Pro-
lights just went
Uh-oh.
Ooh,
um okay.
uh-oh,
That's fine. I'll
uh-oh.
figure that out. They do try to structure the windows around the competition. So
Mhm.
there will be a window in October. There'll
And then
be a
one in the
window
summer.
in
In the summer, yeah.
yeah, February, and then in the summer.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
Mm.
there is, and I think there's 6 windows, right? So at least the
Yeah,
NBA guys could play 2 windows, 2 summer
Two, yeah.
windows,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
hypothetically,
So
yeah.
there's an
yeah.
option there. If you're really
'Cause
struggling, you need to make those calls.
it's in 2027, right?
Yes.
Yeah, did you hear
Yes.
Carmelo? Carmelo mentioned South Sudan.
When?
Carmelo, yeah,
What did
they were
what
interviewing
did
him.
he say about it?
He was like there's because he said like okay the U.S. they're gonna like big up like more power to Germany, they're the champs, whatever. The U.S. they're gonna pick up the
Mm,
right players, this and that, whatever. And then he mentioned South Sudan.
mm,
I'm telling you, it means a lot coming from an NBA Hall of Famer, and FIBA Hall of Famer. Yeah.
mm.
I
Yeah,
do think South Sudan has done a great job to put Africa on the map and put everyone on notice that Africa doesn't sleep. And I think there are a few teams who are trying to follow that lead. I'd say Cameroon is one of those teams who are trying to not trying to, they have improved. Like we saw them in the Olympic qualifier, pre-Olympic qualifiers. That Cameroon team is fire. If you add I don't even think you need to add pieces because they seem to be pretty set. But if you add a few more pieces, I think Cameroon is the team to beat when it comes to these World Cup qualifiers. I think they're the guys who are bringing something new to
mm,
the table. I think Senegal,
yeah,
you can't count them out because every time I think that they're down and out, Badio does a madness, Boasi does a madness, Ndoye does a madness.
mm.
Like there's just weapons everywhere. They don't sleep.
True,
They're just building new
true,
people. DR
true.
Congo though, they're the ones that I think we sleep on them too much, and when they come and attack you,
Mm.
everyone will be looking around like, "Where did that come from?"
Same happened in the Windows when they humbled South
Wow.
Sudan.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm. And
yeah.
everyone's like,
So
"Where did
the
it come from?" And they're looking at you like,
true,
"We've been here.
True.
South Sudan,
true,
you came here
true,
yesterday. We've been here." So yeah, I think
true.
that'll be fun. All right, and the second
Okay.
piece of hot topics is I'll let Deji actually take this. It's from the under 16s zone 4 qualifiers.
Okay, so as you might know, today was the first game of the under 16s of the qualifiers, and Cameroon was playing against Central African Republic. And the score, Lord have mercy. Cameroon beat Central African Republic 103
It's 12.
to 12. If you
I don't
can
have
think
any
about
words.
it,
I've got no words.
103 to 12. And then it made me realize that we once talked about it in an episode when we said like, isn't it for a under 16, under 18 team, there is a possibility to forfeit for a game when the score is going high. So it can crash confidence of the kids. You remember that,
I
Pedro? We were
remember that.
talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, don't you think that in this case that should have worked?
I mean, come on, they played 40 minutes. They scored 12 points. That's like, I mean,
That's
are we
crazy.
coming from a we in this day and age that everyone gets a medal, participation medals and stuff like this. No, they took a beating. They took a beating, deal with it, get better the next game. Like it's not Cameroon's fault. They're not gonna go and slow down. Like hey, if you want to compete at
True.
the highest level, the highest stage, you need to go
Mm.
and be able to. Come on, we lost by 60 something against the States. You
I
know,
remember that Olympics.
yeah, in '92, the first
Uh,
Dream Team Olympic game. It was against us.
mm,
And then we recovered. We beat Spain by 20 points. They were playing at home. We lost to Germany by 1 point. So we didn't go and cry. Oh
mm.
my God, we lost. We lost. No, get better. Rebuild, whatever. High, like recruit. Yeah, get better. I'm sorry for these girls. They next game they're gonna do a better job. You know. Yeah.
I
I
hope so.
mean, we hope so.
Yeah.
Let's
Can't go worse. Yeah.
yeah. All right, let's move on to the any other hot topics before we go?
Probably not.
I
I mean,
I just gotta. There's a one hot topic. Is like this. I mean, to me, the group of death is wherever group Angola is because it's
Oh my gosh.
oh, really?
that's what it
No,
is.
I don't think so, bro.
No, no, not for
You,
us, for
you,
them. We don't care.
uh,
We don't care who we play. We just
okay,
show up. We just show up.
okay,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Should we
You,
should
you
we
know that.
should we move on?
You know that. No, you know that. I just wanted to tell them. You know that Angola ain't even gonna make it to the podium.
Wow.
The AfroBasket that will come.
Um.
Okay.
Let me say.
Men's and females.
Can I just say something? It's like this.
Mm-mm.
Can you beat South Sudan? I don't
Mm-mm.
think so. That would be probably the
I
first
mean,
game.
wait. Let me just ask you something.
Cameroon's
Let
coming
me
for
just
you.
ask you something. We don't
Okay.
care. We home. We got home court. Next.
Okay, let's go on to the question of the week. This week, I wanted to give the guys some proper homework. We need to do some actual factual research when we do this podcast.
Yep.
But this homework is actually based in Dreamland. So let's see how we go. The question is, if you were in charge of a basketball federation and you could only focus on one sector for the next 4 years, what would it be and how would you go about it? So let's start with Jigo. What would it be?
Hey, for me, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's infrastructure, and I will definitely gonna start about by that because you cannot develop a sport without having proper court to do so. Here, there is that one video that I want to show you guys. I'm probably gonna send it in the group chat. These times we are playing Division 2 of the Senegalese league, and we're now playing the cups. So the cups aren't played in the gym. So there's only two indoor gyms here in Dakar, for example. Let's say there is Maris Ndiaye and also Dakar Arena. That's it. Dakar Arena, people gonna play there only on a DL, or there is a window an Afro basket windows or what have you. And other games are played in Maris Ndiaye. So there's that one game that happened in a court named Ashelen, like a basketball court. The court was so bad that the kids could not even stand on their ground. There is that one video of everybody sleeping. And then what's crazy about it, you have Dakar, which is the central capital of the basketball ecosystem, let's say, the capital of the region, only have probably five good courts. And you want to develop the sport by that. If you go to a school, probably you're gonna find a court, but it's not adaptable, probably one-sided. If you go to any other neighborhood, you ain't gonna find a basketball court. Mali did that, trying to implement court all over the places, and then that brought interest to the kids, first of all, because basketball is not like soccer, you know? In soccer, you just need the ball and somewhere to play. So that's it. You don't need it. But in basketball, you need all the infrastructure. You need the hoops. You need the ground to be fit. You need the gym and whatever. So yeah, in the 4 years, probably I'm gonna stick to that, and then also go training. But the main focus will be to really build proper arenas and basketball courts.
Okay. P-Funk, over to you. What would you spend your 4 years on?
I mean, one of the things I would do, I do agree with Jigo.
Hey, you can call me Deji though.
It's
This guy is cool,
crazy,
man.
Like when you hear it
Yeah,
out
yeah,
loud, you're like, what?
yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I agree with him in terms of the infrastructure needs, but
Mm,
you can have the best arenas in let's say in the world, whatever, like in your region. You need
mm,
players, Angola, like I remember, like last year, I think 2 years ago, I think
Mm.
we only have like players that are members of the federation, like like as in different age groups and different. It's only 2,000. We're
Mm.
30 million. We're
Wow.
34 million actually, and we have 2,000 players. You know,
Hmm.
so
Wow.
from quantity, you're gonna get quality. You need to because
Sure.
I give an example, like let's say the country that I live now, Germany. Maybe basketball is like
Mm.
the fifth sport, maybe after like
Mm.
football, and then
Football.
all these like Nordic whatever skiing and then volleyball,
Mm.
handball, and then comes basketball, right? And then they probably had like I remember like it was 300,000. You know, can you
Mm.
imagine? And then they won
Wow.
U18. No, they won U16 Division B. The same group won U18. They're the world champs. They like
Mm.
they raise a havoc in every competition, But but I'm just saying that we need to have players. The kids need to
True.
be in love with basketball, like I was. I'm from a generation that Angola started when I became aware of the sport. Angola was
Mm.
winning. I remember the first Afro basket that I went. I was a kid, but it's like Angola's playing, and then
Yeah.
in every neighborhood there was one of those makeshift hoops. People would make them, and we would play. Hours on end. Now you go to Luanda, you don't see people playing basketball. You don't. There's no. I
Mm.
mean, there's like we're gonna host the 2025 Afro Basket. There's no. I mean, I don't see the
Hype,
no,
interest.
yeah, exactly, exactly. There was there was
Mm.
a little the draw, this and that, whatever. They made a little banquet, like a dinner. Yeah, it was good, But like, and then
Mm.
you go you watch the games. There's like 200 people watching a semifinal game. 200 people
Wow.
watching a semifinal game between Petro that just did what he did in the
In
BAL,
Dakar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, I think we need to go and mm, I don't know, rebuild interest in, because maybe could it be like showing that it's possible? Because we have one kid that
Mm.
left Angola in 2 years, now 3 years. Yeah, in 3 years he's in the EuroLeague. He played in Angola.
Mm.
He played in Angola. No, no, there was no USA, nothing. No, played in Angola, and then
Oh
he
yeah.
came here to Germany. He played for Braunschweig 2 years ago. Last year, played for Braunschweig. The team was
Mm.
good. He moved to Zaragoza, and then now we play for Fenerbahce in the U League. So it is
Mm.
possible. It is possible. And another thing that needs to be done, not only getting the most amount of players possible, also everything,
Mm.
all the stakeholders,
Yeah.
coaches, like
Coaches,
uh, GMs,
trainers,
physical trainers, yeah, like
trainers. Yeah.
Also, we got to understand that it's
Mm.
what Carter said the other day. Not everyone
Mm.
needs to be a player. You can go and
Mm.
develop into
Yeah.
something else. Agents,
True.
you need to
True.
have people that could hey make a phone call. Hey, listen, there's a really good Angolan guy. Hey, go and work him out. Give him a chance.
Mm.
So yeah, my thing is like we need to go and then uplift the whole basketball community, increase the
Mm.
number of players,
Mm.
promote the sport as
The
a
sport.
as
Yeah.
a. I mean, because right now basketball is like it's a hobby in Angola. There's people playing for free. There's
That's
teams.
crazy.
Wow.
There's teams that the kids play for free, and they play against Petro. The guys make I don't even know how much money they make. Some of them, but yeah,
They make a lot of money.
you have guys like that. So but they play the same league. They gotta like the
Mm.
guy that plays for a pair of shoes has to guard Carlos Moraes. So yeah,
Hmm.
so we need to professionalize the league. Have a minimum salary. There's things that there's a 4 year cycle, right? So you need to start in the
Yeah.
beginning, like in the beginning, go to schools, start like with
Mm.
getting like before in my time there was there was like sports schools. You would go, you were good in sports, you go to that
Yeah,
school,
yeah,
and then they
yeah.
will go and be able to, hey, yeah, your coach, the coach is
Mm,
actually a PE teacher. So the PE teacher is gonna be like, oh, you good in handball? Let me call my
mm,
colleague. He coaches a
Mm.
team in a handball team. Hey, I have a
mm,
player for
mm,
you, and he goes. You good in basketball?
mm.
I'm gonna do the same. So that's what we got to do. Like uplift the whole like infrastructure also, but then human resources. You got to form people, and then
Yeah.
the success will come. Undoubtedly, yeah.
Mm,
I think for me, I would choose coaching. I think your points are all correct, but also if we're going to build a generation of better basketball players, they need to be coached correctly. And
Facts.
also, those coaches then go out
mm.
into the wider community of Africa and coach other people correctly.
True.
And you're not going to
True,
know that unless you're taught how to coach the right way.
true.
And that's not just about, okay, understanding and loving the game, but it's also how to deal with players frustrations. It's how to manage your time effectively, how to work with GMs and the back
Yeah.
office in your
Mm-hmm.
federation, how
True.
to negotiate with different people. All of those things are aspects of coaching, as well as knowing the game, understanding your players, understanding the
Mm,
emotions of different people. If we don't have good coaches, we will continually keep looking for our games to be created, developed, and decided by people outside of Africa. And what I mean by that is people talk about style of play, right? But
yeah.
how can a style of play be created by somebody who isn't from that country? How can that person come in and dictate this is the
True.
style of play of Mali, for instance, and then for the next
Mm,
20 years, this is how Mali plays because this person from this country decided
Decide.
this is how
Yeah.
Mali is going to play?
yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that's right. I think if we have African coaches from African countries, they know their
Mm,
people best. They know what works, what doesn't work. They know how to create systems, or they learn how to create systems.
okay.
And then the players get taught how to work in those systems, which is what happens in Mali. If you look at the Mali
Mm,
youth team to the Mali women's, especially men as well, they have a system and it works. You take
mm,
one Mali kid off, put another Mali kid on, nothing changes. They're still they're still gonna
yeah.
hit you in the face. The only
Yeah.
difference is a different person who's doing the hitting. They understand where they're supposed to be, when and why so efficiently and effectively. It's really
Mm,
difficult to beat them. And we all talk about, like, in the next 5-10 years, Mali is going to dominate, especially in the women's game, because
Yeah.
nobody has trained their
mm.
kids the way Mali has trained their
Mali
kids,
football.
and that's
True,
down to coaching. And how many
true.
of those coaches are from Mali? And this is my question. If we're not investing in coaches and telling players you don't have to be players, you can also be coaches, and all the other
Mm,
jobs that are around that, we're going to continually have teams who are led by foreigners. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you look in Europe,
mm,
the French team isn't, well, actually, the French team is always coached by a French person.
mm.
Okay, that's a bad example.
But still a good example
Yeah,
because when you think about club level,
yes,
all the good teams, great coaches are like from the east side of the Europes.
exactly. And I think we need to start creating our legacy of coaches from club level that end up going to national level and not losing those coaches. A good example is in Egypt, the former coach of Sporting Alexandria. He was the head coach of the Egyptian team. He is a club coach, and then they promoted him. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
I feel teams are so, they want success, and that's what you should want. Like every federation should, but they're so quick to look outside instead of saying, why don't we invest the time and do coaches programs, do coaches clinics? Tunisia, Egypt, Morocco, they run those every year. Coaches, and referee camps and referee sessions. Why is the rest of Africa not doing that? Or if they are, why aren't they telling us about it? Why aren't they showing us that, oh, there's other ways that your kids can be involved? Or if you have a love for the game but you can't play anymore, here's another way you can be involved.
Yeah. But the thing is, they're doing it in the wrong way. Just for example, just to kind of back up what you're saying, a lot of things that happen here in Senegal, it's like you got a former player, right, who's in love with the game, but kind of get aged and something like that. And then, hey, having a basketball court in the neighborhood, decided to be a coach. But he just became a coach like that without doing any researches or any studies that go about it. So you have plenty of those type of examples here in my country. I don't know if it is relevant for any other country.
all
And
over.
then for the that's crazy. And then for the coaches, let's say that for what I know and what exists here, what we have here, it's like the game get away from them and
Mm.
they don't want to rethink or go study it, if you see what I mean. We have all those big coaches like Pabi Gay, Partey, even Coach Libasfai that you watch in the BL, the Asville Dakar coach. He's one of the best coaches here. But every time that they go out, either it's in a national team or it's a BL competition, they're getting out coached.
Hmm.
If you see what I mean. So the coaching staff is always behind because like they have more technical resources, more individuals that are more professional in their league, and then they don't want to go and learn in the right way. That's why always basketball is kind of behind them. Even even there is one example, Desagana, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Desagana. Before Desagana, it was Boniface Ndong. And then Boniface Ndong once said to coach Pabigay. Pabigay was the former coach of AS Douane, telling him like you don't even they put you as an assistant, but you cannot bring me nothing. You don't even have the capacities to be an assistant coach. Your degree is where you have to be is a videography coach, a video coach, but not an assistant. You don't even have the level. And Pabigay is the best coach that we have in the country.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
That's
but
crazy,
if
right?
Boston don't come on, you talking about a guy like played EuroLeague. He won. He
Oh
won. He
yeah,
won. He
true.
won a championship with the Nuggets. He's an assistant with the Nuggets,
Yeah,
NBA
Mm.
champ.
yeah.
So come on, we
But
don't.
it, but yeah, but the thing is, it's always telling them to go to learn to get best practices from the others. So then that thing not happen. So anytime that you see the what's going on with the federation, they rather bringing over a coach than signing a coach from here because sometimes they're not qualified to do the job.
But they're not qualified, but this is why we need to get them qualified.
Yeah,
I think
there you
I,
go. True.
I think all those things kind of need to work together. But my follow-up question to that would be if you have a 4-year tenure, as in your president, and your government only gives you $1 million, can you
Hmm,
spend $1 million on all three of those sectors? Is it even possible to do that and do it
I don't think so.
effectively?
Can I just tell you two little things? I want to tell you one thing in terms of when I was still playing, some of my peers, they realized, okay, hey, I can see the end of my career. Let me start doing like coaches. There's levels. FIBA
Mm.
coach level 1, level 2, level 3.
Two, yeah.
Yeah, and then in some places you need level 3 to coach U18, to
Yes.
be a head coach for U18.
Oh,
You go to Angola. There's guys with no degree, just you play like 10 years, whatever, picked up all these bad habits, and then what you doing? You just go and passing them along. You just
Yeah.
pass them along.
yeah.
You go, oh, let's play
Hmm.
back. Let's play 5-on-5. Do this, whatever. And then they're on WhatsApp. They're on the phone while they're playing. So and then
Wow.
no, there's another thing that scares me is like they get complacent. They get content from being an assistant. 10 years being an assistant. Come on, hey,
Yeah,
listen.
that's crazy.
You cannot
That's
be
crazy.
content, and then they overlook you year in, year out. They bring new player, new coaches. You know,
They did
Mm.
that to the female coach in
and
Angola,
and
right?
the guy too, the guys too. Yeah, the female coach. She won the league. She won the
Mm.
title. All of a sudden, they brought the grandpa from Spain. Like no, for real. He used to coach under. 14 or under 16 in Spain. You know, they
Wow.
asked him, "Oh, do you know anything about African basketball?" Oh no, just the girls that play in Spain. Come on, man. And then you had a champion right there next to you. It's all good. They did it, right? But my question is, you cannot be content for being an assistant in your club, and then you're gonna demand, oh yeah, yeah. How come there's no um, Angolan head coaches, a national team coach, because
Mm.
there's hardly any Angolan head coaches on a club level.
In the club level.
You know,
Mm.
so if you don't have that ambition, hey, listen, hey, I make enough money, whatever. I'm gonna hop on the plane, go somewhere, take FIBA, learn. Like
Yeah.
the Cape Verdean coach Manuel Trovoada. Hey, he is an expert at that. He goes
Mm.
to he goes to Valencia. He does some trainings with what's the name, Badalona. Coach Aito Garcia Reneses, a legend in coaching. He goes to Real Madrid. He studied under Pablo Lasso. Now he studies under Chus Mateo. So obviously he's gonna know more than the guy just stayed in Africa and just watched over
Yeah,
the
of
local
course.
league you know but
That's
that's
true.
that's what these the same way the players need to be like, hey, I want to get better. I want to take part of my salary. I'm going to go and get a trainer like this. I'm going to pay him, not for free. I'm going to pay
Mm.
him. I want to get better at dribbling. I want to go and get a skills coach. I want to be a better shooter. I get a shooting coach, but it's got to
But
come
is
from them.
can I ask a question? Is it down to the the coach as an individual, or is it down to the federation to say, hey, we're going to link up with some clubs in other African countries or potentially in Europe or in America? We're going to take 10 coaches and we'll send you away for a year to go and be an assistant in another team. Like, who is it down to?
I mean, before it happened, before it was a couple. Petro used to do it with some coaches, send them. Players too,
Mm.
send them. The other clubs, I don't know. I know about Petro, but then there's another thing. If the federation doesn't see the need, or doesn't see the urge of these coaches to improve,
Yeah.
why would they
Emergency.
spend their money on something that, because
Mm.
the coaches are content. Honestly, I see them. I listen. I'm going to give you an example. Mary Andrade. Mary Andrade. She's a lady born in Cape Verde. Cape Verde. She went to Portugal, played in Portugal, and then got a scholarship. Went to Old Dominion University. Graduated from Old Dominion. Went to the WNBA. Played in the WNBA. Played in Italy. Legend. Then she decided to be a coach. She coached
Mhm.
in college, San Diego. She went and coached she was coaching in the G League. And I remember one day, she was like, "Listen, I want to go and coach at the BAL."
Oh,
She
wow.
she wasn't. She was in the States. She called me. She was like, "Listen, hey, I would like to talk to somebody from Petro." I made the connection. They talked to Coach Zenet, and I said, "Perfect, yeah." She went over to the staff. She was in charge of scouting.
Nice.
A person, a
Nice.
person with experience at the NBA level, not WNBA. She was coaching in the NBA. She was coaching, and she was the assistant coach for the Birmingham Squadrons, which is the G League affiliate of the New Orleans Pelicans. Then,
Okay.
guess what happened? Check what happened. She was in Africa, right? Guess what she's coaching now? Toronto Raptors.
Oh, snap.
There
Oh,
you go.
nice.
You don't think she made some like networking over there with Masai
Networking.
or Masai,
Yeah.
whatever? I'm a
Yeah.
I'm an African coach. Their
Of
Mm.
African
course.
team. That's what it is.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what it was it? She had to be proactive. She didn't wait. Oh,
Mm.
let me see if
Yeah.
Masai is gonna think about me one day. No, she made it happen. So
Mm.
it's exactly what African coaches need to do. Seize the moment. You play World Cups, you play Olympics, whatever. Go and network. Don't be shy.
It's
Just go.
true.
Say, listen, I'm a coach. I'll be interested in being in your program, whatever. Check how many
Yeah.
check how many coaches are in the States now, European coaches. A lot.
Mm. Yeah,
Either in college or in high school, these academies. Look, hey, we got coaches too. We got
it's
coaches
true.
too. Come on. Portugal had two coaches in at the BAL, and Portugal is a basketball country. Is in It's not like
It's
yeah,
not that great, no. In
there you
Europe, it's
go.
not considered a basketball
And
country,
then
let's
and
be real.
they play. They now they go into the Euro basketball. Normally they don't qualify, and then the youth
Yeah,
level team they play Division B. So and yet they had two coaches at the BL. You know,
that's
let,
crazy.
let us
Yeah,
let that
yeah,
sink in.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, they're always seeking of knowledge, and they're not waiting for the federation to do something. They're gonna make it happen. So, are our local coaches doing so? I'm
Hmm.
not sure. Probably they're content of what they have now, just like being in the local league. You're in the conference zones. Yeah, that's what we call it. They're in the conference
Yeah,
zone. And
yeah,
sometimes not only the federation to do some action, as in federation need to do actions, as in organizing clinics and what have you, but also coaches need to go to seek for knowledge
yeah.
because the game is always evolving, it's always growing. And if you're still there and then the other teams are doing it, you're gonna call plays from 1980, and that's what happened.
All right. Well, in conclusion, we have decided that the three things that you need to focus on are infrastructure, player development, and coach development. So, for any federations out there that they need some help, we're all available. In a advisory capacity. I don't charge too much.
But
I
but but
charge a
but but
lot.
but don't forget, yesterday's price is not today's
Yeah,
price.
it's not today's price. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you hear this in 2 years, it's going to be a lot more money.
True.
All right, we're going to move on to a new section. One of the reasons why we started this podcast was to give people more awareness about what happens in African basketball across the continent. And we recognize that there are a few countries that we talk about more because we're from there and we
They
love
win
them.
more, and they win more.
No, because they're from there.
Yes,
You know,
that's it.
S-
I
Senegal
I
had 11 titles, so
I
come
would
on now.
like
I'm not talking about that.
a real fan to count how many times Pedro says Angola in any episode of the
Me,
podcast. I promise you it's more
me.
than five.
What? What do you?
If he's not talking about it, he's gonna show that T-shirt.
Exactly.
Hey, it
A
is. Come
hundred
on.
percent. 100%.
He moved on, but if it wasn't for that, he's gonna also show the flag in his background.
Wait,
Okay.
wait, wait! Not the flag.
Jesus, well.
I even check. Wait, you can't see. You can't see. I don't know. You can't see, but I got some.
Come on now.
I got some
Come
proof.
on now.
So, in an effort to be more inclusive and to ensure that we teach you something and learn something ourselves, every week we're going to do a past, present, and future on a different African country. And we are starting with Kenya. Now, the beard was supposed to be here because he's the historian, but unfortunately, he's busy. So, I did a little research. I wrote a little script. Lucy's gonna make it look like I know this off the back of my head, yeah? Uh,
You know.
but I don't.
Right?
But she's gonna cut it like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So this is a brief history, a brief look into the past of Kenyan basketball. So the Kenyan Basketball Federation, also known as KBF, was established in 1961, and that is the same year it joined FIBA. And this laid the foundation for the country to start doing basketball, but basketball like on a national scale. But basketball took root in the 60s and 70s through schools and missionary centers. So I wanted to find out, when they say missionary, who are we talking about? So basically the English, the Americans, the Italians came over with churches and they built infrastructure, and they were using sport as a way to educate, discipline, and teach people about things outside of Africa. So it was missionaries that actually brought the sport of basketball to Kenya. Now, the hotspots for that would have been Nairobi and Mombasa, and by the 80s and 90s, clubs basketball started developing and thriving, and that's when you started having teams like KPA. Those of you who follow the WBLA will have heard of KPA. That stands for Kenya Port Authority, and here's a name I'm going to butcher: Ulizi Warriors. Yeah, let's go with that. Ulizi Warriors. So they dominated the scene in terms of club basketball, and they were supported by the military, port authorities, and also any kind of government infrastructure. They would each take a team. And then that's how the teams were developed in club basketball. So in terms of the men's national team, they're called the Morans, for those who don't know. They made their Afrobasket debut in 1987, and it was when Kenya hosted Afrobasket for the first time. So it was right there in Nairobi. 6 years later, in 1993, they reached the Afrobasket semifinals, and that is the highest ranking they've had to date in terms of Afrobasket. For women's basketball, that took place, it started in the 1970s. The national team is called the Lionesses for the women's, and they became a continental powerhouse from the 1980s. Their biggest achievement came in 1993 when they reached the Afrobasket finals and they came second. And they are still one of the strongest performers in East Africa. So when we look at East African countries, up until the point where South Sudan entered the chat, is what I was going to say, entered the mix, Kenya has been the dominant force in that side. In 2021, the Morans made the headlines again by upsetting Angola
Oh
in the
no, I knew you were gonna
Afrobasket
say that.
qualifiers.
I
Of
knew you
course,
were
I have
gonna
to
say
say
that.
it.
I
Do you
knew
think
you
I'm
were
just?
gonna say
I told you this is a history. We got to tell people. They were led. They were led by Coach Liz Mills, who was one of the first female coaches to coach a men's team at Afrobasket level, and they reached the round of 16. So that's kind of the history. And now I'm going to pass it over to Jigo, who's going to tell us about what's happening currently.
That was such a good work
Thank
that I
you.
don't think that I can outplay that. But hey, but hey, it's kind of like Kenyan basketball really started to rise in the last two in the since 2021 because we kind of see what happened if you guys are a little bit familiar with the WBLA. And then there's also another thing to talk about for the Kenyan national team women's side. They got the wild card to qualify directly, and then they're going to play for the AfroBasket. This is first, and then for the men's side, there is something that I wanted to highlight more, which is as in we are in the BLA term, and then the BLA gonna start a little bit. Kenya hosted the finals of the Road to BL with a representative of the Nairobi City Oilers or City Senders, or the case may be. They got to the finals and then get qualified directly in the BAL. They will play in the near conference, which has also Al Ahly, APR, and MBB. There is something that I want also to highlight, which is how Kenya became a big basketball country. For you guys that were a little bit familiar and tuned in to BAL games, you can see how the arena was even when the Nairobi team wasn't even playing. You got a big community, a big community of fans that really interact with the team, and also star players that play for that Kenyan basketball team. Let's name Aruna and also Majok that played for that team during the road to BL. So in the present, Kenyan basketball is really starting to rise, and we're gonna see what will happen in this year's Women Afrobasket, what as in if they're gonna make it out or be in the podium. Let's say how this is actually the present of Kenyan basketball. Let's see how it's gonna look at in the future.
I mean, I will tell you how it's not gonna work. They'll never beat us again. That's for sure.
Wow. That's
I,
Never.
not about you.
I bet you that he was gonna
Listen,
say
listen, listen.
that. You know, Pedro.
Listen, it's like this. Not ever, 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 ever. Anyways, Kenya is to me, honestly, when they beat us, and I was like, do they even play basketball? I was surprised, honestly, and
Really.
I didn't know.
I think all of Africa was surprised at that
Yeah,
time,
but
though. I'm not gonna
2021,
even look at it.
I'm gonna tell you something. I wasn't following basketball the way I am now. I'm gonna be completely. I was coming off a Achilles surgery. I didn't care about no. Yeah, but when they lost, I was like, okay, okay. So that's started, and then I started. Coach Liz Mills did a wonderful job over there, and then yeah, but then that's another thing you got to understand. Kenya, they I think they got a lot of kids that play for Kenya now, but they're from South Sudanese descent.
Oh,
They were
really?
born there. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Majok Deng. He's Kenyan.
Really?
Yeah. He was born in Kenya. He plays in the States now. There's also another. There's this lady called Madina Okot. This tall.
Madina
Yeah,
Okot, yeah.
yeah. She's like 6'6". She dominates in the States. You
Yeah.
know,
She's
and then
amazing.
I know. So
And she
you
was
talk.
in the WBLA for those
There you
who are
go.
not following.
There
Yeah.
you go. And then I will give you one fact that I didn't know. There's the fact of they dominate 3-on-3.
Mm.
They dominate on it, but it's not only on a continental level. They're like they ranked 51st in the world in
That's
women's
crazy.
and 60 in men. So so that means they're
That's
like,
dope.
okay, it's crazy because listen, some of these girls play 3-on-3. They also play 5-on-5,
Mm.
and the men too. But I don't know what's this discrepancy. How can it be so good in 3-on-3? And
Mm.
but then I think it's a strategy because Benin is super high also. I didn't know when I
Oh,
was
are they?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they're super
Benin,
high.
they are in 3 and 3.
They
I have a friend
yeah
that
they
played for the team.
they higher than they're like I think
Mm,
I'm not if I'm not mistaken they're like top 40.
Oh,
In the
wow.
world. So I'm just
yeah, I'm
saying
three
it's
x
a
three. Yeah.
strategy. It's easier to play 3-on-3. It's easier.
Okay.
You set up something, whatever, with the floor. You know that floor that they use. Those little,
Yeah.
yeah, they put that floor, and then it's always sunny. You can play outside. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
you can play outside. So uh,
3-on-3 feels like it's built for like African countries, island nations, because you don't have to be in an indoor arena. As
true,
long as you have
true,
space
true,
outside, you can
true,
get
true.
kids to play it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper than building a whole thing. And then
Oh, yeah.
it feels like, oh, you in the park showing off, like, yeah, you in the park,
Mm,
whatever. So
yeah.
it the I think the essence of basketball is playing outside. If you never
Yeah.
played outside, but then it takes it's not the same game. You got to go and take the 3-on-3 chip and put the 5-on-5 and vice versa. I
Mm,
think the future of Kenyan basketball lies on a bunch of these kids that were talented enough to get scholarships to go play in the States. Some play, and then once their careers, like college careers, is over, they can come back, and then
mm,
they can be a force to be reckoned with.
yeah.
There's one kid. I forgot his name. I wrote it down. His name is Paul Otieno. He plays in this. He's a senior. He plays in the States. Big guy. He's like 6'8", 6'7", but like a strong guy.
Wow.
So so if you have these success stories of kids that despite the fact that then they're coming from a country that's more known for track and field, long distance running, and then probably they're because if you realize, like, you go to Nigeria, you see beasts in Nigeria.
Hmm.
Nigeria, you see beasts. Senegal, you see beasts. Mali, Angola, we're not known for having these big guys. We have like guards and wings. South Sudan, you have all these, but Kenya
Lean.
normally they have, Kenya. If you realize they have those kids with like lean muscles, skinny
Hmm.
legs, like long limbs, whatever to run. But then in
Very
terms of
tall.
Yeah.
very tall
What's
also,
what's the flagship guy? In 2021, he was the main guy for them. Super tall, very muscly, but like not big.
the one
What's his name?
the
I
track and
can
field,
see
you
his
mean?
face. No, no, no. In basketball,
In basketball. Oh,
he
no,
was
not the
he.
dreadlock guy. No, Kenyan Airways. No, what's his name? What's his?
Oh, guys,
I always call him
it's killing
Kenyan
me.
Airways, the one, the dreadlock kid.
Yeah, but like that's their kind of like body type.
Yeah,
Yet
yeah,
they're really good at that. You get like the tall and lean, or the a little bit short and stocky,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but they'll hassle you. They keep hassling you. They keep hassling you. That's the thing about Kenyan basketball that really annoys me. If some one of them is marking you, you're gonna feel it.
yeah. But you know what it is? It's also the same fact that people hate playing in Denver. Altitude. These kids they train in altitude. Once they
Yes.
go to our
Yeah.
level, they
Yeah.
run you out the gym because
They're known for that.
there
They're
you
known
go.
for being the
Yeah.
best
Yeah,
athletes in the
condition,
world.
condition, because yeah, the lungs. I think that you get more red blood cells and whatever because
Oh,
you've trained. Yeah,
really?
yeah. There's a lot of people that go over there. The cyclists, they were doping. They will go
Mm.
take the blood. They will take the blood. collected in altitude, and then they would inject it before the when they would. Yeah,
No.
yeah, 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 yeah. I'm telling you, yeah, they got an advantage. That's why like Ethiopia, Kenya, they train in altitude. Yeah. Track and field, they're known for that. Long distance. It's not only because God decided to make a bunch of fast, oh yeah, you guys are gonna run fast. You go after Maasai warriors, you go after lions. No,
Mm,
they just, geographically they got advantages too, because they train in altitude and then yeah, but also they're known for that, They're known for that.
mm.
But I'm saying like Kenyan basketball, if everything, cause I mean, we have our friend Nderito. That kid is that kid,
Yes.
man. That guy, listen, that guy.
Shout out to him,
I know,
NBA
man.
Kenya.
NBA Kenya, yeah.
Yeah, but then he was like, listen, I didn't call it NBA because of the NBA. It's nothing but amazing, you know.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
what it stands
yeah,
for?
yeah. The guy, he's a
Really?
he's a nice kid. He's a nice kid, but he's got beef with everybody, man. He was like, he's like,
True.
he was like, I don't
Every
want. He's like, I don't want peace. I want problems.
um, always, come
Always.
on now.
That kid is
I've
funny.
been this with everyone,
I
bro.
know that kid is funny though. That kid is funny. No, but honestly, I think they I mean, I don't know how the infrastructure is in terms of, like basketball, but the
Mm.
fact that they're so good in 3-on-3, they can like ferment the sport and make.
That can
Yeah,
translate
yeah, yeah, yeah,
easier.
yeah. So
Yeah.
That can
you
translate
can
easier
have,
from
yeah,
Power
and
Five.
then you can have the more people they're playing basketball, the game itself, and then 3-on-3 is an Olympic sport. They can go to the Olympics too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
true.
yeah.
Amazing. All right, so we hope you've learned a little bit about Kenyan basketball. We all three of us learned something that we didn't know, and next week we'll be in another country and teach you something else. It's time for the time we've all been waiting for. It's a head-to-head today, ladies and gentlemen. It will be Jigger versus P-Funk in the
Yeah.
Switch Nomads quiz. Pens, paper at the ready. Are we ready to go?
Yep. Hey, don't
Today,
don't don't
ladies
forget
and
don't forget that. I listen. If I lose today to this gentleman, it's gonna be a
gentlemen,
problem
it
because
won't make
he's
sense.
o-
Yeah, it
he's
won't make
old
sense.
for everything. He's old for everything.
Oh, for everything is crazy.
Lord have mercy.
You got oh, everything is crazy.
That's wild. And then the thing is, I lost to the quiz last time against Jonathan because he decided to give
Point
him a half
five.
of a point, a
Wow.
point five, because he was closer to the answer. But yeah,
It was a
anyways,
setup. So you had to go
it
No,
deep.
no.
was a setup. It was a
Didn't I
setup.
lose? Didn't I lose? I lost the Carter the same way, and you don't
Oh,
see me
what?
complaining. Going to the higher ups. Okay, let's go and make. I want to win this. I got places to be. Let's go.
Let's do this. All right.
Oh,
I love
apologies, fam.
you're gonna have a 5 question setup, and I have a bonus question in case. Oh, there will never be a tie. Well, maybe if there is a tie, we'll have a bonus question. All right, let's go. Question one. Oh, the theme of the quiz this week is World Cups, just so you know. So good luck with that. Question one. Which two African teams have reached the quarterfinals of the FIBA Women's World Cup and in which years? I will give a point for each team named and then an extra point if you can name the years. One more time for the question. Which two African teams have reached the quarterfinals of the FIBA Women's World Cup? Five, four, three, two, one. Let's see your answers.
I don't have the years though.
Okay, we got Nigeria and
Oh,
Mali, and here we've got Senegal
Angola and
and
Senegal.
Angola and Senegal.
Angola.
Okay, so neither of you got the full answers correct, but you each get a point. The answer is Senegal in 1998 and Nigeria in 2018. So that is a point
Ah,
each. All right.
I was gonna
Question.
put
No.
Senegal, but then I was like, it might be
I was gonna put Nigeria, but hey, something tricked me. Come on.
All right. Question two. At the 2022 FIBA Women's World Cup, which African country finished with the best record? At the 2022 FIBA Women's World Cup, which African country finished with the best record? Five, four, three, two, one. Let me see your answers. We've got Nigeria there and we've got Mali. And the correct answer is Mali. Back in 2022, there was only one African team competing, and that was Mali. P Funk has 2 points, Jigo has one. Let's go to question three.
Okay, locked in, locked in, locked in.
Which African men's team achieved the Continental's best finish at the FIBA Men's World Cup, placing 13th in 1998?
1998?
I'll say it one more time for you. Which Africans men's team achieved the continental best finish at the FIBA Men's World Cup, placing 13th in 1998?
Ew, I don't know about that one.
Five, four, three, two, one. Let's see your answers. Angola for P Funk and Senegal. I mean, I love the I love the enthusiasm. Both of you are wrong. The answer is Nigeria.
Really?
Yeah.
1918?
Yeah, yeah. I
Did,
mean,
did,
people just do
didn't
good.
Senegal, yeah, didn't Senegal won in 1970 something? Afrobasket? Yeah,
Are we
that
talking
was
This
about
it.
is
World
World
Cup?
Cup.
Oh yeah, I know. No, I would just,
Why you never get anything right. You don't listen to the question, bro. You're answering a question you've invented in your own head. That doesn't make any
I'm
sense.
So
trying. I'm
it's
trying. I was
question
trying to relate, you know?
question four now, right? 2-1.
Yes.
All right.
Question four. In the 2023 FIBA Men's World Cup, which African team qualified directly for the 2024 Olympics by finishing as the best ranked African nation? One more time. In the 2023 Men's FIBA World Cup, which African team directly qualified to the 2024 Olympics by finishing as the best ranked African team? Five, four,
Whoa.
three, two, one. Answers, please.
God have mercy.
Chico has put Tunisia.
Tunisia.
Chico, we. I'm so confused by how you come up with your answers because we literally talked about it. The answer is
Really?
South
Oh my
Sudan.
God.
You were the one who told us that they lost to USA. I'm so confused.
Oh, shoot. Oh.
I don't understand what's
Oh
happening
my
in your
God.
mind.
Hey,
Oh my
he's one
God.
of those
Hey,
kids.
hey,
Listen, he's one of those kids that doesn't test well. He knows the thing. He just doesn't test well. He needs extra time, right?
Oh
oh
gosh. All right. Well, this is the
my
final
God.
question.
Oh.
The points score, by the way, is 3-1.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you get this right, you can save some face. Let's do that.
I mean, I.
Which African nation made history in 2023 by becoming the first women's under 19 team from Africa to win two games in a single FIBA U19 World Cup? I'll say the question
Women's?
again. Yes. Which African nation made history in
Thank you for
20
thank you for saying the
He's
question
gonna
by
say
again.
becoming
he's gonna
the
say
first?
Finland. Finland.
I'll say the question one more time. Which African nation made history in 2023, becoming the first women's under 19s team from Africa to win two games in a single FIBA under 19s World Cup? Five,
It's probably
four,
probably France, but I
three,
don't know.
two, one. We've got Mali and we've got Mali. Incorrect. The answer was Egypt.
Damn. Oh
Ooh.
yeah.
Yes, it was Egypt and
Damn.
Mali who went to the under 19s, and
Ooh.
Egypt won two games,
Okay.
and they should be so proud.
Ew.
They did. Yana Elfi was in that team.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
all know Yana
Ooh.
Elfi.
Yeah, she's
Uh,
in the States now. She plays
yes,
yeah,
she
you won the
she won
NCAA, yeah.
NCAA. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Jigo. This question is just for you because P Funk's already won. Okay, so this is just for you.
Do
In
I win?
20,
Can we
no, no,
just
no,
go
no,
for
no.
final call?
Come on. In 2017, which African country shocked the basketball world by beating Argentina in the group phase of the under 19s Men's World Cup? You got this. 2017, under 19s. Which under 19s African teams are doing really well and they beat Argentina. Five, four,
Somebody beat Argentina?
three.
Lord have mercy.
One.
Wow! Didn't know that.
Pedro, what's your answer just by any chance?
I mean, I would say Mali.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jigo,
I
what did you
said
say?
Mali too.
You said
Mali
Mali.
too.
Jigo, you got
Yeah.
it right. It was Mali. See? Yes,
Really?
you do get it. So the final scores are 3 to P Funk. I'll give Jigo that. 2 to Jigo. You only lose by one. The winner of episode 21's quiz is P
Oh,
Funk. Is there anything you
so
want to say to the
unfortunate.
people?
Hey, listen, when it rains, it pours. Oh, for everything.
Jigo, I
I
actually
ho-
I feel bad for you because I feel like you turn up just to get beat. Like
that's crazy, right? But yeah, but anyway, as long as the episode was fun though,
yes,
that is
it was
please,
fun.
Yeah.
And that's it. That brings us to the end of our episode. We want to thank you for sticking with us and listening. Please make sure you follow us on all of our socials. That's Swish Nomads Podcast. And we will be back next week with another episode. And for our final thought, Marcel isn't here. He's going to be hosting next week. So, P Funk, you won the episode. Why don't you give us a final thought?
I mean, listen.
No, don't talk about
No,
Angola,
I'm not talking
please.
about Angola. I'm not. I'm talking about. I'm gonna talk about the fact that for whatever reason, it hurts that we were saying the guy's name wrong for so long. He never corrected us. You know.
Yeah, why didn't you correct us?
Because of the cool.
What? To just say your name wrong?
Now to say Deji, it's a day in the GI.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
But how do you pronounce your name in your language?
yeah, it's Jigo. Like
Jigo.
Jigo.
just Jigo, just like you pronunciate it when you read it in French.
Okay. Jigo.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
No, it's
yeah.
all good. It's
I'm
all
gonna
good.
blame dyslexia because I couldn't see it.
I'm gonna. I want. No, but honestly, both an honor and a pleasure to keep beating this kid, because it's he was talking mad trash, mad ish because oh yeah, we're gonna see Afro basket. Nothing's gonna change, man. Nothing gonna change. But anyways,
Bro, Alpha Basket gonna be in August though. Something gonna change. Probably.
I
You
mean,
don't have Carlos Moraes to back you up.
yeah, we
Oh,
beat you guys. Remember? No, we lost to you guys. We lost
Okay.
to you guys.
No, you
Yeah,
lost. You
yeah,
lost to Senegal. It
yeah. I
was a
know.
buzzer
I
beater by
know. I know.
Antoine
I know.
Mendy.
I know. But the thing
You
is,
know,
like, Muraj was hurt. Yeah.
2013. You
Yeah,
know.
Muraj was hurt. But anyways, I would just say that even though that our two brothers are not here, the Island Boy and Mr. Fib himself, it's a pleasure to just keep coming and learning, talking about basketball. I will talk for hours, honestly, but like it's yeah, I think it's we need to have more listeners and viewers from the motherland. We do this for you guys, we could be uh, like now the Jigo could be somewhere else, I could be somewhere else, the OG could be somewhere else, but we decided to take time out of a busy schedule because we are busy. Come on, Mister Jigo got all these fans, whatever, So I
You need
want.
to take care of them. You
I
know.
know, I know, I know, but it's a pleasure just being able to talk about basketball
So
and being in this environment because it's what we love. We for whatever reason, I never met Jigo. I met Carter once. We all have, and then the other two members got a absolute love for the game, and then so I think we need more people talking about African basketball. There's got to be like 5, 6, 10 Swish Nomads. So I
mhm.
think it's a once again, thank you for tuning in. We episode 21 is a wrap, but then don't forget, episode 22 is coming and there's another quiz coming.
Bye, everyone.
bye.